OpenAI has announced a new product every working day for an event called PR Day of 12 Day with OpenAI. In this video, we are going over a recap of what was this 12 new products, and then we're gonna talk about the grand finale, which is O3 model, and we're gonna discuss whether it is an AGI or not. So we'll get into, without further ado, let's jump right into it. Welcome everyone to your channel, AI Fun Fact for All. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Pedro Magan, I have a PhD in computer science, and in this channel, we talk about AI and machine learning and how we can use it in our everyday life. As we mentioned in this video, I'm going to talk about the PR event. We're gonna see lots of different products that OpenAI has announced every single working day. And we're gonna see what are these events were, and I'm gonna go over to the grand finale one a little bit in more detail and see that what is gonna look like for us in future and what's gonna happen, what are the basic things that we should consider. So I want to talk about this. The first is day one, which was on December 5th. So on the first day, they released the full O1 model. So it make it available to the ChatGPT Plus and Team subscribers worldwide. The company reported that the model outperforms faster than its previous version and reduces the major error by 34% on complex real-world problem. Very quick, the O1 model is the one that has the time compute on the test time, so we basically try to reasoning and do this few-shot learning and reasoning of a chain of thoughts during the inference. On the second day, on Friday, December 6th, day 2 wasn't as exciting, so OpenAI involved the reinforcement in fine-tuning. So I don't believe it is not as exciting. I think it is very important and kind of like set a stage for the last one, and they provide a model customization method that will let the developer to modify the O series model, so making it suitable for them. So I believe this is very valuable, and that the technique report goes beyond traditional supervised fine-tuning by using the RL to help model improve their resiliency to repeated iteration. And OpenAI created a new way to train AI models that let them learn from the practice. The other approaches was, for example, the fine-tuning that uses supervised fine-tuning like DPO, direct fine-tuning, which shows a little bit flexible and more easier way to implement, but this one definitely will provide a lot better probability and the result that can get. On day 3, on Monday, December 9, they released Sora. So it is a text-to-video model, and it's a standalone product, new associated through Sora.com, and ChatGPT Plus and Pro subscribers will have access to it. And the company says that a new version operates faster than the research preview shown in February. The vendor was originally announced. OpenAI first demonstrated the model ability to create videos from text description. So at the exact time that they revealed Sora, actually Google also announced their new model, and it was actually a lot better, and people actually look at it and they mention, oh, the Google model was actually a lot better. Not too later, after OpenAI announced Sora, Google introduced Veo 2, which has actually a lot better and more consistent, but you can definitely take a look at some videos for that and compare it yourself to see which one is basically better. And I can actually show you one example of the tomato slicing, and you can see that basically the Google product of Veo 2 is actually a lot more consistent in terms of the physics. Okay, now on the next one, on day 4, on Tuesday, December 10th, they actually moved to Canvas feature. So it is a beta testing, making it available to all GPT users, not just Pro one, including those on free trial. So the Canvas Pro was a dedicated interface for extended writing and coding projects beyond a standard chat format, and you can direct integration into GPT-4o model. So when you are typing, if you have, for example, coding aside, if you have a math problem, if you have a document, it will actually create a canvas for you, and it will try to work on that canvas. It's a little bit more user-friendly, I would say, and kind of inspired from the Claude. So let's go on day 5, which they actually on Wednesday, December 11, they announced ChatGPT will integrate with Apple Intelligence across iOS, iPadOS, and macOS devices. The integration works on iPhone 16 series, so nothing before that, and 15 Pro. So that's the only ones, and then iPad A7 or M1 chips and later. And how it works is that you you can integrate your daily contraction with your Apple through the ChatGPT, and it will integrate this for you to make your responses based on whatever information that you have inside your Apple. Now, on day 6, December 12, they actually OpenAI added 2 features to ChatGPT voice capabilities. So voice calling with screen sharing support to ChatGPT Plus and Pro subscriber, and seasonal Santa Claus voice person. So this is also very important, so that you can actually take a video and or a screen share to get your information shared with ChatGPT and get the response back from it. And then on day 7, on Friday, December 13, OpenAI introduced a project, which is a new organization featuring ChatGPT. Let's say user group related conversation and files. On day 7, the features work with the company GPT-4o model and provide a central location for managing features related to specific tasks or topics, kind of like Anthropic's project. So again, this is something similar to Anthropic, and how it works is that you can basically not just organize things based on the chat, but you can create project, and then the project will have access to the memory, and when you're asking the question, the information retrieval are shared within those projects, not just within one chat. On day 8, December 16, they actually expanded its search features in ChatGPT, so extending access to all users, including the free user, reportedly adding a speed improvement and mobile optimization. So you can call ChatGPT on a web search engine, and through the practice, it doesn't seem to be comprehensive as Google search at the current moment, but it actually provides the capability of the search. You can basically do searching, it provides the result for you, and it also shows where the results are come from. On day 9, Tuesday, December 17, they actually released the O1 model through the API platform, so adding support for function calling, developer messages, vision processing, and so on. So the company also introduced GPT-4o audio pricing by 60% and introduced a GPT-4 mini option and cost 1/10 of previous audio rates. So this is actually something in terms of how much cost efficient is that, and it's a capability that you can integrate with your APIs. On day 10, they actually introduced the something a little bit fun and launched a voice messages access to GPT through a toll-free number. So there's a number like 800 and then ChatGPT. So it also works on WhatsApp, so US residents can make a phone call with 15-minute monthly limit, while global user can message ChatGPT through WhatsApp at the same number. So basically you can call or message ChatGPT. It's a new feature, somewhat convenient that you can actually make this and get the information from it. On day 11, Thursday, December 19, launched ChatGPT desktop ad integration to include additional coding environment and productivity software. So the updated ad for JetBrains IDE, PyCharm, Intelligent IDE, VS Code variants, Cursor and VS Codium, and text editors such as Nebedit and TextMate. So this is kind of very much related to the code part. And if you see lots of integration into helping for code development. Finally, on day 12, we had the grand finale on December 20th. They actually concluded the announcements by prevailing 2 new simulated reasoning models. So O3 and O3 mini. So you might think that why they didn't call it O2, it is because of the similarity between the words with another trademark in the British telecommunication. But basically, it is the second iteration of O1 model, but it's actually a very huge jump. So in this video, we're gonna go deeper into this O3 model and O3 mini. And now right now, it is not gonna be available for anyone. Basically, it's gonna be only going for the red teaming, crowdsourcing the red teaming, so going for the security and search. And so they are achieving a 27 rating on code force programming and 96.7 on AIME mathematics, so both coding and mathematics problems. So this is actually very cool, and I want to go deeper into this. The first thing I want to talk about is that is it AGI or not? So there is a debate on this. Sam Altman itself actually didn't call it AGI because of the following reason. So in order to achieve the AGI, they actually mentioned the 5 stages. I actually talked about it before in the video. And what happened is that it is one breakthrough through that final goal. There is an ARC benchmark. As you can see, this is a complicated benchmark for AI and machine learning models, even though it seems very easy for us as human, but it kind of avoid basically the process of memorization. So there's no memorization. You can kind of consider as the basically multitasking and also the IQ of engine or system that is trying against it. So if one machine learning model can actually work well on this, it means that it can generalize to new tasks rather than purely memorization or whatever it has already learned. And for that reason, let's take a look at the video together and somebody actually explain why ARC benchmark is actually difficult.
So ARC is intended as a kind of IQ test for machine intelligence. And what makes it different from most LLM benchmarks out there is that it's designed to be resistant to memorization. So if you look at the way LLMs work, they're basically this big interpolative memory. And the way you scale up their capabilities is by trying to cram as much knowledge and patterns as possible into them. And by contrast, ARC does not require a lot of knowledge at all. It's designed to only require what's known as core knowledge, which is basic knowledge about things like elementary physics, objectness, counting, that sort of thing. The sort of knowledge that any 4-year-old or 5-year-old possesses, right? But what's interesting is that each puzzle in ARC is novel, is something that you've probably not encountered before, even if you've memorized the entire internet.
So even though it might seem very easy for humans, it's actually very hard for the computers and machine learning models to recognize it, because they definitely haven't seen that at all inside their training process. Let's look at some example in here that they actually showed it inside the demo.
Here. AGI is all about having input examples and output examples.
But they're good.
They're good? Okay. Input examples and output examples. Now the goal is you want to understand the rule of the transformation and guess it on the output. So, Sam, what do you think is happening in here?
Probably putting a dark blue square in the empty space.
See, yes, that is exactly it. Now, that is really, it's easy for humans to intuitively guess what that is. It's actually surprisingly hard for AI to understand what's going on. What's interesting though, is AI has not been able to get this problem thus far, and even though that we verified that a panel of humans could actually do it. Now, the unique part about ARC-AGI is every task requires distinct skills. And what I mean by that is there won't be another task that you need to fill in the corners of blue squares. But we do that on purpose. And the reason why we do that is because we want to test the model's ability to learn new skills on the fly. We don't just want it to repeat what it's already memorized. That's the whole point here. Now, ARC-AGI version 1 took 5 years to go from 0% to 5% with leading frontier models. However, today, I'm very excited to say that O3 has scored a new state-of-the-art score that we have verified. On low compute for O3, it has scored 75.7 on ARC-AGI's semi-private holdout set. Now, this is extremely impressive because this is within the compute requirements that we have for our public leaderboard, and this is the new #1 entry.
As you can see in this chart, the previous model will actually very much perform very poorly on this, like around 20%, and then the level of human is around 80%, 70 to 80%. And as you can see, the low version, because there is basically 3 different versions of this O3 model, low compute, high compute, or the medium intensity of computation, and then the low one can achieve 75%, and then the high compute will actually reach the 87%, surpassing the human. If you look at the chart in here, on the x-axis we have the amount of compute that is put towards it, and then we have the score on there. So the average is around, as I said, like around 76%. The O3 tuned version can reach that, but then we have also the high tuned, which is basically achieving 88%, surpassing the human average. But I also want you to look at the amount. So it is currently showing $1,000, so it's more than $1,000 per task. This is the amount of compute that you should put during the test time. This is not including anything related to how much compute it requires for training the model. This is just for tuning and inference time. This is how much it should spend for each single task. So more than $1,000 it has used in order to be able to achieve or reach this level of a score. But obviously this is earliest stage of this development, same as how other previous development were like bulky or stuff like that, such as like TVs back then had like a very big, for example, screen, and later by it becomes more flat. We can see that it is also happening, and we see lots of things going toward reducing the cost of computation and how they become reasonable in order to reach this. Right now with this number, obviously it's not reasonable to spend like more than $1,000 for every single task. A few of Twitter posts in here, we can see from the ARC price, they said that this is not an incremental progress, we are in new territory, and O3 is still faced on very simple tasks, so it is obviously not an AGI, but there is a difference obviously between the human intelligence. And we can also see here another comment from Charlotte that said that it's not AGI, there's still a fair number of easy tasks on ARC that it hasn't achieved, and they're working on the ARC-AGI version 2, and obviously it's going to remain very challenging for O3. I just want to mention that ARC-1 was actually the the amount of the compute that they reached before was actually pretty low, and it's not an incremental, just 1%, 2%. It is a huge, but still there is a lot of way to go. And in terms of ARC price competition, there was the issue about the runtime with a fixed amount of compute, so 1 cent per task. So even though that it has not completely or fully surpassed the current ARC price, which was originally suggested around 2019-2020, 5 years past that, but there's still a lot to go, because right now, as we just showed, the amount of monetary policy is around like 10,000 more than what it was expected for this task to be done, like around 10 cents. It's around like more than $1,000 right now. Here I want you to show some benchmark that they show for during the demo, the software benchmark in here specifically. So they compare it with the O1 preview and O1 model. So it achieved around 48%, but then O3 actually reached 71.7%. And then we have this competition core, or basically code forces, and then LO that they reach on the high end was 27, which is actually very incredible, and surpass lots of good coding humans. And the O1 model is around 80, 90, 91, so a lot huge jump in that. And that's not just it, because we also have the math benchmark, as you can see in here, for the competition math ARME, it was 83 on O1 and it reached 96. So for math, I think it's still a lot past to go, because a good PhD or good mathematics actually reached the highest mark in here. So comparative to human, it's actually still low. And then PhD level science, 87.7. So this is a specific topic, not general math. It is a specific topic, and reaching 87.7 is definitely incredible in terms of a specific knowledge domain that requires to solve the problem. This kind of things showing the generalizability or the inference during the compute during the inference, and the learning that they can reach during the inference time without just purely memorizing, so they can logically reason about these new concepts. And then if that was not enough, there's also another very much harder benchmark for frontier math. As you can see, this is the comparison. Right now, the model is around like 2%, and the best one is Gemini 1.5, reaching around 2% on the question. But then when you see that right now O3 model can achieve 25.2 on the high end of computation, this is very huge. So we see like more than 10 times improvement in terms of the accuracy of the response on this very complex math bench. And some people thinking about when the AGI is going to come. Is there a lot way to come? Some people are thinking about like 4 years, 5-year horizon. I don't agree on that. I think it's going to happen a lot sooner than that. As you see, like for example, in this post from Noam Brown, they said that we launched the OpenAI O1 model just 3 months ago, and they right now announced O3 model that's 20 times, 25 times actually surpassed the previous version. So the amount of improvement is very much huge, and they are going into the direction that these models are actually learning new things, learning new tasks and concepts, rather than just memorizing or creating a word of knowledge, which is basically the step required to achieving the A. And let's take a look at the video from Sam himself. What do you think that AGI timeline and when it's going to happen?
It used to be a term that people used a lot, and it was this really smart AI that was very far off in the future. As we get closer to it, I think it's become a less useful term. People use it to mean very different things. Some people use it to mean something that's not that different than O1, and some people use it to mean true super intelligence, something smarter than like all of humanity put together. We try now to use these different levels. We have a 5-level framework. We're on level 2 with agents now. Sorry, with reasoning now, rather than the binary of is it AGI or is it not. I think that became too coarse as we get closer. But I will say, by the end of next year, end of 25, I expect we will have systems that can do truly astonishing cognitive tasks, like where you'll use it and be like, that thing is smarter than me at a lot of hard problems.
And there you have it, guys. We went over 12 days of a PR event from OpenAI, and we actually focused deeper on O3 model, and we discussed whether it's AGI or not, and how we are reaching that, how close we are to that stage, and what it means for us. What should we expect from it? Should we get worried or not? And what are the things that we need to do? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel so you get more information like this. If you're technical and you want to know the latest technology that's happening right now, make sure to watch this video that I talk about the best papers and discussion on NeurIPS, which is the leading conference in AI and machine learning. And you can watch this video that I covered about the AGI and talks of Sam Altman and how they think that this artificial general intelligence is going to happen and what we can expect from it. Thanks for watching, and see you until the next one.